Well, good morning. Hope you're having a good start to your day. I'll just wait for a few folks to come on here and say hello to you. As we get started here this morning, we're going to, we sent out an email this morning. We'll talk about fat loss. Okay, good morning, Michael from Wawa. Nick, good morning from our staff. John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois, Nativity. Yeah, good to have you on this morning. Okay, having a great day? Sonia, good morning to you. Okay, and Anita from Ireland. Anita, nice to have you with us. Good to have you. Good to have you. Sherry, Colleen from Whitley, Lorraine. I always miss a lot of people, and I want to go on afterwards and say hi to the rest of you. Good morning, Andrea and Jerry from Nouveau Brunswick. Kim from Florida. Susan from Florida. And good, and Jerry says, go Habs, go. I mean it. Yes, for sure. Denise from Alberta. Good to have you on, Denise. Andrea, Yolande, bonjour. Nelly. Thanks so much, guys. And I mean that. Micheline. And Gail from Touchwood Hills. Now, Gail, where's Touchwood Hills? Nice to have you guys join us to do. Margaret and Claire from Newfoundland. And you guys are great. Frida. Good morning, Frida. Chantal and Lori. Chantal and Andre. Teresa from Winnipeg. Natalie. Okay, let's get going. Lynn. Bonjour. Good to have you on with us, Lynn. I see your name there. Good friends of the Martin Clinic. We appreciate it. Okay, let's get going. We're going to talk about this morning. Now, if you're not getting our emails, okay, make sure it's not in your junk mail, okay, because email does that, of course, right? It can send it off into your junk mail and you don't even see it. Make sure you clear that up. Or if you're not signed up to get our emails, make sure you do that, okay? And martinclinic.com, get your email. These emails are very instructive. I'm going to do a little bit of teaching this morning, and I want you to understand, okay? And in behind me here, and I'll pick it up and I'm going to show it to you, okay? In behind me here, I have, this is 5 pounds of fat. Okay? And, so when people scream that they've only lost, and this is 1 pound of fat, okay? So I have a pound of fat here. See that? Folks, there is nothing better for you than to get rid of this in your body. Because of what, well, we'll talk about some of it this morning, but remember, this here, okay, for those who are going to listen on a podcast at a later date, I'm showing here, I got my hands spread out almost a foot. And then about 5-6 inches wide, and almost a foot long is 5 pounds of fat. People are very, very hard on themselves because, first of all, you know me and the scale. I don't like the scale. I don't. Because people, if you get programmed on the scale, your whole success or failure will be based on the scale. Now, you guys know this, but the reset was never intended primarily for weight loss. That wasn't the idea of it. Okay, I just give you a little bit of history of the book. This started years ago in the clinic when I was trying to fix diabetes, trying to correct insulin resistance. Okay? So we're going to do a little teaching this morning. If you haven't got the email, Tony Jr. is the email guy. Okay? He's the brains behind the operation. Okay? A lot of times you don't see Tony Jr. and he's got his mother's brains. Okay? And I mean that. Okay? But the email teaches this, and I'm going to teach it this morning, okay? But I want to give you some background of the reset, because the reset is it's the best thing you can do for yourself. Now, before I get into that, someone sent me an email on, I can't remember, I think it was Sunday or Saturday or whatever. I might have read it on Sunday. And they had done very, very well cutting out their carbs. But if you go on the internet and you Google or do whatever you want, you're always going to get gurus that tell you, you can't go low carb for a long time because it's not good for you. Initially, it's good because you're going to lose weight and whatever. But in the long term, you need carbohydrates to survive. Now, I just want to put this out there. And I want you thinking, if 88% of the population have trouble with metabolic syndrome, 88%. Means what that means is there's only 12% of the population that are healthy. If that's true, and it is, we don't, it's night, let's eat a balanced diet, okay? You can just eat, just in moderation. Let's do that. We don't live in the same world anymore. I mean, that was all right in the 1950s, no problem. But today we have metabolic disaster. And the lesson that we didn't learn with this whole virus, we didn't learn it. Virus. We didn't learn the elephant in the room that I've talked to you about for well over a year. And that is the only time people get sick, and don't give me the exception with one person in Texas, okay? There's always exceptions. But generally, here's what we know. If you did not have pre-existing conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, you didn't get sick. You didn't get sick from the virus. Old age. I mean, over 80. You can get mad at me for saying that, but that's what the truth is. And then high blood pressure, I've talked to you 1,000 times about this, high blood pressure and metabolic syndrome, whatever. It's food. It's sugars. It's crappy carbohydrates. And so this person, and God bless them, they were saying, well, I've been reading and my doctor and this and that says don't go low carb for long term. No, not long term, just the rest of your life. And one of my goals with the reset is once you go past 3 weeks, it empties your liver, it does 100 things. Does 100 things. But the biggest thing that it does is that it gets you into a lifestyle eating. That's my key. That's my goal. I always want to make a change so that you change habits. Your body adjusts to a new fuel. I talked about that last week. And your body will thrive. And you'll thrive. You know, I always tell my diabetic patients over the years, if you do what I tell you, I'll put you into remission. But it's just like an alcoholic. You're one drink away from becoming an alcoholic again. In alcoholism or drug, if you are a drug addict, you have to stay away from it. And that's all right, because there's all sorts of, even in our book, we put snacks and desserts that you can eat on the reset. You have, you know, and so the idea that this isn't good long-term is, it's craziness. We have Houston, remember, right at the start of the book, Houston, we have a problem. We got a major problem in our society today, and we're ignoring it. We're ignoring it. The solution is in front of us. Okay. So getting that out of the way, let's now talk about fat, what it does in the body, what can you do about it? Okay. So when you eat a lot of carbs and you consume a lot of sugars, and remember, carbohydrates are just going to be sugars in 5 seconds, okay? And I'm talking about crappy carbohydrates. I'm not talking about vegetables. And look, you know me and fruit. Fruit are God's candies, don't have a lot of them. We live in a different age today. You can't live on bananas, okay? You just can't. We live in a different age, and I emphasize that over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm showing again the 5 pounds of fat. And metabolically, okay, this 5 pounds of fat does something in your body, okay? Hormonally. And this is why when people tell me about calories, I can't handle it, guys. Calories comes from the food industry. Oh, just eat this. It only has 100 calories. What does that mean? It doesn't mean nothing. I'm telling you. What has calories got to do with anything? Your metabolism works like this. You have a hormone that tells you are full. Now, you should know this if you read the email. What is that hormone called? Leptin. Leptin. Leptin tells your body that you're full. Okay? So if you have, okay, and now I'm bringing up the 1 pound of fat. Everybody has some fat in their body. At least you should have some, right? Okay? What this does, okay, see this? The fat? It releases leptin. It says to your brain, you're full. And then your brain says, okay, I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore. And now I'm going to increase your metabolism. I'm going to send TSH down from the hypothalamus. Remember, in your brain, guys, just for the sake of teaching, 2 centers in your brain. Hypothalamus, hormones, just that's all you have to think of. Hippocampus, memory center. Okay? Now, whenever you have hormones involved to speed up your metabolism, what does leptin do? Leptin tells your brain, hey, you're full. Don't need to eat anymore. And your brain signals, the hypothalamus signals to the pituitary. I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but signals to your pituitary, and your pituitary tells it secretes thyroid stimulating hormone, and your thyroid, you know what your thyroid is? It's your metabolism. It's your furnace. It increases your energy, and it starts to increase your metabolism. What's the problem with that? Okay? So when you eat, your body releases leptin. Leptin tells you you're full, and your metabolism gets going. It starts burning the food that you ate until it doesn't work anymore. And the reason, okay, now I'm putting away the 1 pound of fat, and I'm going to bring you now the 5 pounds of fat. Again, almost a foot long and 6 inches wide. It's incredible how much fat that is. It's 5 pounds. The problem with this, okay, compared to this, okay, the 1 pound, okay, got it? 1 pound, is when you have this much fat, you now get what we call leptin resistance, okay? Now, let me bring you one step back again. I have to do this. How do you get from this 1 pound, not dangerous, to this 5 pounds of fat in your body? How do you get there? Follow me now. Insulin. When do you use insulin? Do you use insulin when you eat eggs, meat, and cheese? No, hardly any. Remember, the reset sends your pancreas on a holiday. Insulin comes from your pancreas. But when you got extra fat in your body, you develop a condition. Okay, so insulin, remember what it does. You're eating, let's follow a piece of bread. Oh, doc, I'm having whole wheat. I don't care. It's going to turn into sugar. It's stored as fat. Carbs make this, guys. Carbs make the 5 pounds of fat, and 10 pounds of fat, and 15 pounds of fat, and 30 pounds of fat. Insulin does that. The problem is when you have this developing in your body, that 5 pounds of fat or more, you get insulin resistance, right? Your cells, remember I told you about the bad neighbor who's always coming to your house? and your cells are, your body's sick of it. It's sick of seeing insulin. So what does it do? It resists it. But the more you resist it, the more insulin has a job to do. It doesn't matter how much insulin resistance you have. Insulin will always take sugar out of your bloodstream. When you're eating carbs, they turn to sugar rapidly. And insulin's job is traffic cop. Out. Store. Liver, muscles, and making of fat cells. And the more you have insulin resistance or high circulating insulin, the more fat you make. The more fat you make, now follow with me here. Step 2, the more fat you make, because you have insulin resistance, the more leptin your body secretes. And again, like a bad neighbor, always around, guess what happens? You get leptin resistance too. Now, I teach that in the Reset book, Metabolic Reset. I teach it in a simple way. And hopefully I'm making it simple to you. Leptin tells you your body is full until you have leptin resistance. And what happens there, let's go back. I got to show you this again. Okay, got to show you this again because this is a double whammo, guys. It's a double whammo. The 5 pounds of fat that you see, okay, it got there because of insulin, right? Eating carbs, not eating fat. Fat doesn't give you this. Oh, doc, I got fat eating eggs, meat, and cheese. No, you didn't. It was the toast. It was the pasta. It was the rice. It was the cereals. It wasn't eggs, meat, and cheese. That don't make you fat. Okay? That don't make you fat. Because insulin is the thing that makes this. Okay? It makes the fat. Got it? The problem is when you have this too, okay? The double whammo is you're making your cells, this releases leptin, but it's releasing too much and your cells get, I can't stand you, leptin, get out of here. Well, now you're always hungry. But even more than that, this makes, remember, what are bad fats in your bloodstream? Cholesterol? Guys, follow me here. Follow me here. Does this make cholesterol in your blood? Nope. It makes what? Triglycerides. 3 fat balls. They go into your bloodstream from the 5 pounds or more of fat. Because this is in your liver too. And your liver is full. The suitcase is full. The Costco parking lot is full. What happens? Your body releases these as triglycerides. Those are dangerous. Triglycerides, and Tony Jr. put this in the email this morning. Triglycerides go across the blood-brain barrier, even up in here, and guess what it does? It messes up your leptin even more. So when you see someone, folks, that's obese, you see someone struggling, and it may be yourself, with weight loss. You've struggled all your life with it. You've never been skinny or whatever. It's a hormone problem. You got to fix that. It's hormones. Why does it happen to women more than men? It messes up your thyroid. It messes up all of it. Leptin. You're starving. You know how many people started the reset and they said, Doc, my body is turned upside down and, I'm hungry right now. And I said, well, let it do its work, man. You've only been on it a few days. Your body's changing fuels. Give it a chance to fix your hormones. Folks, I tell you, this is key to understanding. This is why when someone came into the office for years and years and years, I said, man, I got to turn this around for you because it's not calories. You don't run over to Weight Watchers to fix this. If you don't eat and you cut calories, you might lose a few pounds, but you're not fixing your hormones. You have to fix the hormones. You have to fix insulin primarily. and then it will fix your leptin. I'm not even going to get into ghrelin. I won't get into it. You don't need to know it. You can know it, but it doesn't matter. They work together. Leptin and ghrelin work together. But leptin and insulin work together. That is what the teaching is this morning. So when you want to, look, think about this for a minute. Think about what I'm saying. For weight loss, that's why I always tell people, look, the metabolic reset is the best weight loss program there is. It's not meant for that, but it's a byproduct, because once you fix your insulin and once you fix your leptin, when you fix that, you're fixing the problem. Plus, sorry. I talk too much. I lost my, okay, I got to tie down my camera here. Okay, tie down my phone. Sorry about that. When you fix these things, you fixed the problem. You fixed the problem. That's the key, guys. You have to understand that, where I come from. It's fixing the problem. Got it? Let me give you another benefit, because we just talked about triglycerides. When you get rid of this, especially the fat that's in your liver, guys, you're not only helping with your leptin and that, you're lowering your triglycerides. You're lowering your triglycerides. Those dangerous fat balls that circulate through your system. Got it? See why? So when someone tells you, and you'll hear it, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it in your family or whatever. And, someone tells you that you can't do no carbs for a long time. They don't know what they are talking about. They don't. Seriously, if your body needs sugar to work, it will take a piece of steak and turn it into sugar. Did you know that? So if you want sugar, eat steak. Because your body knows when it needs glucose. And let me just rest my case. Sugar is so toxic, it can't stay in your bloodstream. Now that ought to be the clue. The clue that you don't need sugars. And remember, carbs are just long sugars. That's all they are. When you have a piece of bread, it's just a long sugar. That's all it is. It's going to be sugar. It's sugar on steroids. Okay? So, now, do I got a minute or two? How can you help with this? How can you help with this? We don't talk about this very much, because I'm a big, you know me, I'm primarily food. My expertise is food. Okay? Clinical nutrition. That's my doctorate. Okay? In clinical nutrition. Clinical meaning real people, not just, food, nutrition, but clinical nutrition. Real people getting results. That's clinical nutrition. That's my degree. Okay? I have a doctorate in natural medicine too. And humanitarian medicine. I have those doctorates, but my biggest thing is clinical nutrition, so I'm going to give you food. But let me talk to you a little bit about, here's some helps to fat busting, or fat blockers. How can you help your insulin along in terms of lowering your triglycerides? You know what I like? I like insulin balance. Now, thousands of you know that. That is a product I take every day. I've got real trouble. I've told you my story many, many times. You know, me and carbs don't do well together. Okay? See this face? I look like my father. Okay? I do. I mean, I can't get over it. How much I look like my dad, especially as I get older. And my dad was a diabetic. So I've told you the story. I'm not going to repeat it. But, you know, I have to be careful. And I married an Italian, for heaven's sakes. I got to be careful. Me and carbs don't get along. You know what I take every day? I take insulin balance. There's a lot of things in there. Chromium, picolinate. It's one of my favorites. It's a fat buster. I like it. Okay? But I got to give you another one. Give you a little secret this morning. How do you lower your insulin resistance? At mealtime. Have a coffee. Have a coffee. It seems every day I see it because people, one guy the other day on our thing was bragging. He got rid of coffee in his life. I said, why would you want to do that? You see, because people think of coffee and caffeine and then they think, oh, it's acidic, it's not good for you. And, you know, I'm a tea drinker and, you know, well, you can be a tea drinker. I feel sorry for you. Okay? I got a trick to avoid coffee withdrawal. I never stopped drinking it. I never stopped. Why would you stop? If you have a coffee with your meal, this is a little trick I've taught to patients over the years. If you have a coffee with your meal, you are lowering your insulin response. Do you know that coffee acts just like the drug metformin? Yep, it's your natural metformin. Now, don't put don't put milk in it. You can put cream, but no milk. And don't, for heaven's sakes, don't put sugar in there. Okay? You'll get used to it. No sugar. Get rid of it. Far too many people in North America drink their sugar, either through orange juice or putting sugar in tea or sugar in coffee. And, oh, doc, I just put a little bit. Yeah, but a little bit adds up. Don't put any. Your body don't need that stuff. Get used to not having it. That's one of the issues. That's one of the things we fix with Reset. You lose your sweet tooth after 21 days. You got to go through it. I talked to a lady the other day. I said, man, I didn't say this was going to be easy, but you need to do it. I said, you're so messed up. You're so messed up. You got to do it. This is of prime importance for you. Fix. Okay. Did you have fun today? Okay. So again, I talked to you a little bit yesterday, and details are coming. I'm going to be teaching a course. Some of you have responded, said you're very interested. Send in an email to info@martinclinic.com if you're interested in taking the course, the nutrition course I'm going to give you. It's going to give you a certificate from the World Organization of Natural Medicine. This is a worldwide organization, and I'm one of the members of that, okay, in natural medicine. We're going to give out a coaching certificate in nutrition, which I'm going to teach. I think it's in July. I'll get back to you. But send your name in, okay? Because I'm going to do that. And secondly, the Metabolic Reset book, #1, Canada. If you haven't got your copy, we highly suggest it. I'm biased, but I think it's a great book. And thirdly, if you're not a member of the Martin Clinic Facebook group, we want you to join that private group. What a community it is of wonderful people. You know what? People are saying this. I mean, you see people come on there and say, you know, we love the team. You know, Jeanette, Nicole, Brandy, they go in there. They do hard work, guys. They do hard labor in there because they're answering your questions. And when they got something that they want to send to me, they send it to me. Okay? And I watch that group and I love it. I love the question. You know, most times I don't even have to answer. You guys answer it. You know the answers to this stuff. Okay? But that's what that community is all about. We're tens of thousands in there. Okay? And it's a wonderful thing. And if you're going to do the reset, you got to join that community because we'll pump up your tires every day. We'll pump them up. Okay? And we'll encourage you to keep going. This is revolutionary, folks. It's revolutionary, the reset. It is. It is. It'll change your body. Okay. Love you guys. Friday is question and answer Friday. Send your questions in. Happy to answer them. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.